Well, here we are. Super excited to be here for this Q&A. I'm actually still trying to adjust in my new place, trying to get everything all situated. I got boxes over here. We don't even have curtains up here yet, but really excited to be here with you on a Saturday. And my goal and desire is to really help you and bring answers to your questions when it comes to YouTube. I think a lot of you know who I am, and those that don't, basically you're on the Daryl Eves channel, so that's me. But just kind of my story, my journey. I started on YouTube in 2005, actually October 2005. And I've literally been on YouTube pretty much since day one, really got obsessed with it in so many different ways. And for me, it's all about helping people in different ways. In the beginning, my agency was working with local businesses, and then I moved on to these influencers and been able to really grow. Do have quite a few YouTube channels that we've started, and ultimately we started those channels with an idea and also a plan. And for me, it's more about understanding the components of what YouTube wants, and we'll talk a lot about that today. And ultimately, it's just getting that so that we could actually grow. And I've been able to get over 90 billion video views on YouTube, and I'm surrounded by gold play buttons because that's what I do. I guess that's what I do. But here's the thing. You have all the opportunity right now to ask the best questions to me when it comes to YouTube. And ultimately, I'm going to give you answers to your questions. Now, some of you will say, hey, go check out this video or tell me what I need to improve on my channel. I can't do that. Like, I don't have the bandwidth right now to be able to process it that way. But if you actually do a question, if you have a question about YouTube, something you haven't figured out, I'm going to take my wealth of information of working with the top brands, businesses, and YouTube channels in the world and help you. And that's kind of my goal. And then two, I want you to stick around here on the live stream. And I want to tell you why. I am going to give away a lot today. I'm going to give away quite a few passes to VidSummit. VidSummit's a conference I put on every year. This conference is in, I think 64 days or something like that. It's coming up. It's in Dallas, Texas. And ultimately, let me just kind of pop this up here. So yeah, so in Dallas, October 3rd through the 5th, I'm going to be giving tickets. And if you've already got a ticket, you can get a plus one, and so we're going to be giving that away for sure. And we got some big announcements coming up. We got some big speakers that I'm going to be announcing this week, and we're getting ready to really make VidSummit really a big priority here. Got some really, really cool things we've been working on, and I can't wait for us to announce it. And so, that being said, my goal is today is to literally answer your questions. I'm going to do priority first, where I got rid of YouTube memberships. It was kind of one of those priorities. But like any super chats, I'll make sure that we cover all those. Make sure that you ask your questions in that. And I do want to show you real quick. We had a couple super chats come in. One from Dee. Hey, Dee, it's good to see you there. Nick, the Yoda of YouTube. Okay, so I don't know if you're responding to Nick or if Nick's the YouTube Yoda. I'm okay with that. I love Nick Nimmin regardless. Okay, so here we go. Philosophy of life. Does it make sense to make a channel for shorts? That's why I don't mix up analytics with long form content. Okay. So I have this love-hate relationship with YouTube. When YouTube, whenever they add a new feature, there's always complications of what does that feature do? What impact does that feature have on your current, the current ecosystem of the platform? How does the viewers kind of engage with it? There's a lot of different questions. And so almost 5 years ago, I guess it was 4 years ago, YouTube was introducing shorts. They were doing it, a beta program here in the United States. I was helping 2 of the 10 beta channels. And so I had really close access with the team that was putting on shorts on the platform. and helping them get the data that they need. And at that time, they did launch in India, and I got a lot of data when they were specifically on India. I literally had some very visceral issues with the way that they were trying to insert it. So here's going to be the problem: is shorts. Number one was a very big concern because TikTok was just exploding and a lot of eyeballs were going there, so they needed to do something to counteract that. Two, they have the most talented creators on the planet, not TikTok but YouTube, and how do we get them, encouraged to do it? And then three, how do we help viewers understand that these shorts are actually on YouTube? So that's kind of the challenges they did. Now, a couple things that I specifically had issues with was, number one, it was being placed in browse features. So like when you released a video in the early stages, when you released a video, YouTube says, oh, you released a new video, and it was a short. Everybody was being notified. It was going on the homepage. People go there and they're like, what is this? And we had a lot of that. A lot of people like, what is this? And ultimately it was addressed by the YouTube team in all the concerns that I have. Every single one of them, they really addressed it. And it was pretty much this last November that I'm pro shorts. I'm like really pro shorts. And in fact, we have a speaker that's coming on who I think is one of the coolest creative people in the world. Her name is Jenny. She's actually going to be one of the speakers at VidSummit because she used a short strategy to really grow to 1.3 million subscribers in just months. And so for me, I have a rule, and I want to tell you about the rule that I look at when I come to YouTube. It doesn't matter if I'm starting a podcast. It doesn't matter if I'm doing shorts. It doesn't matter if I'm doing live stream. I ask this question: is the audience the same? Is it the audience the same that is watching the shorts that would want to watch the long form content or want to watch the podcast? And if it's not the same audience, then there is no way that I would possibly put that on a YouTube channel. I would say to combine it, no, I would start my own on shorts. Now, let me clarify, sorry. I would actually start a shorts channel because it's different audience, different channel, basically. And so ultimately, if it is the same channel, it's there. Now, how do you actually test? What can you actually do? I believe that YouTube really would love to have multi-format creators, like creators that do a little bit of this, long form videos, shorts, and live streams. They want a multi-format creator. That's kind of their goal. And so ultimately they're looking at that. But at the end of the day, I really don't care what YouTube's corporation wants us to do. I just care about my viewer. I care about the audience. And so the more that you can have that audience connection, the better it will be. So ultimately, same audience, same channel, different audience, different channel. So like you need to create a different channel on that. That's a great question on that. So next one here, we are going into Jones Vibe. I made a reaction video on my movie review channel, and now my views have gone down. Same niche. Any advice? Hoping to make it at VidSummit. I live in Texas. I'm going to try to figure out the finances. Okay. Well, we'll welcome you very much at VidSummit. It's going to be great. We'll have some great Texas hospitality there. Here's where I look at when we're trying to create a good content strategy. I don't know, Jones, if you actually have my book, The YouTube Formula. If you don't, I want you to say, Daryl, you got to go on Twitter, or I guess it's called X now, or whatever it's called. Like, go over there and send me a DM on Twitter. Use your thing. So, like, I'll get you a copy of the book if you don't have one. But basically, what we're trying to do is a good content strategy that definitely engages with the viewer. So at the end of the day, what we're trying to do, Jones, is really just hit on all levels. Now, you said, hey, I made a reaction video on my movie review channel, and now my views have gone down. So I don't necessarily look at, is this one video causing it to go down? What's actually happening? So there's a couple things that I look at, and this is something that I explain really in depth in the book. I care about basically who's going to be watching the videos, where they're going to be watching it from, and the intent. And so I look very, very closely at where the traffic's coming from. So is that traffic is coming from browse feature? Is it coming from suggestion? Is it coming from search? And then two, I'm like, YouTube has literally given us the keys to the kingdom. Like out of everything, there is like the analytical data that they keep on giving us creators is like the best. It is the best out there to really understand the intentions. And now sometimes we see all these things that we don't make sense, but all we need to do is, where is the traffic coming from? So what I would do, if you notice that your views have gone down, there's a reason why did it go down. Now you have to ask the question, was there older videos that were bringing in views that YouTube was really taking it off? Okay, I'd be looking at that first. The second thing would be, is there a trend that usually happens in Q3? Is there a trend in July that maybe movies aren't as engaging? Yeah, you have the summer months, but the summer months start in May and June, and now we're coming into the fall. Well, I guess it's August, right? But like we're coming into it, is their viewership the same when it comes to movies? And so I'd really analyze that too. And then one of my favorite tools in YouTube Analytics is a place where you go into advanced mode and you can actually group videos together. So I take all your reaction videos, and if you only have one, it's fine. But ultimately, even breaking it down and seeing, okay, did this really impact? Where's the traffic coming from? Who's actually watching it? Did they find value? Now, here's the thing is, if you do it on a movie review channel, my question is, are you doing other content? Like, are you doing content where it's like trailers come out and you're reacting to the trailer and you're like, okay, super excited. And when the movie comes out, then you do a movie review. That's interesting. And I think a lot of people will do that, but I want you to know, what is the intent of the viewer? And then two, what is the value proposition of the viewer? Now, that's a really important thing that I would actually look at. So I gave you a couple things to actually do. Number one, go to Twitter and say, hey, need my book. Number two is go back through this, and I give you a step-by-step things of how to actually analyze. And I want you to use your noggin and just really try to figure out, okay, the intent and what's going on, and is it seasonality? Sometimes we just like think, oh, it's never going to work because, this idea that I did is just not getting the momentum that I deserve on YouTube. And it literally has nothing to do with that. It has to do with some of the things that I've actually mentioned a lot prior. So if you found that super valuable, put that in the chat. I mean, there's a lot of people asking questions here, and I just want to make sure that you're getting so much clarity in these Q&As. And I'm not one to, like, I can go way in depth on it. I want to give you some really, really good, complete answers. And so, okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jones. And then we'll go to the next one. How much data on a video is needed for YouTube to really know if it's great or not? What are the ways to make educational whiteboard videos more entertaining? Making content that is hard to copy equals success. Okay, so Benjamin, look, here's the thing. YouTube is looking at so much, and when you release a video, if you're a newer channel, YouTube will give you a little bit more oomph just to get your videos out there. But what data that they're actually looking at first is how many people are clicking on your video and how many people are not. So there's that ratio, and it's a click-through rate, right? And ultimately, that is one of the most powerful ways for YouTube to decide, do we want someone, did this actually hit the audience that it was intended to? So that's why a lot of YouTubers spend so much time on the title and thumbnail, is because of that. Now there's a second thing, and this actually came from Todd. Todd actually is in charge of the search and, the discovery team at YouTube, the guys that make the algorithm and stuff like that. And he actually did a presentation at VidSummit a couple years ago. And he said this, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is so great. Like I was so surprised and shocked that YouTube would allow him to even say these things. And it was this, it was, if you had a video get 1,000 views, your next video is gonna have 7x the impressions. And so if you got 1,000 views, it's going to get at least 7,000 impressions right out of the gate. And those impressions is that test. So how many people are clicking on it and not. So there is a way to have momentum on your next video, is how well your previous video performs. But the momentum is only if you hit it out of the park, in the sense that people want to watch your video, right? So at the end of the day, and it's a small little segment too, because it doesn't last very long. Like when you release your video, it doesn't last very long. YouTube's going to look at it very closely and say, oh, it's not really going there and not. And so at the end of the day, YouTube doesn't need a lot of data to decide. And the one that is probably looking at the most, if you're not seeing the views that are there, is how many people are skipping over that impression. So you just look at really closely the impressions on that. But let me give you the words of wisdom here, because and I know this is a two-parter, and I'll get to that second part. So I do appreciate that, Benjamin. But the way that I look at this is, how do I make the best video for the viewer? You're going to hear me say that a lot, because that's what I believe. And at the end of the day, that's what you need to really focus in on. How do you make a title thumbnail that's there's a lot of curiosity that's going to pull in a viewer? That's where I start. And then I'm looking at the first 10 seconds, and I'm like, okay, what do we do here with that viewer? Okay, that's great. And that's that first 10 seconds. Like, how do we hook them in, and how do we set them up, and how do we, pull them through the story? And I just want a lot of people to click and then to retain. But the most important thing that I found is, if you brought enough value, they'll want to go deeper. There's that binge effect. And so I definitely would look at this. Now, I had a student, I actually do a mentoring program. You can see it in the description. It's called Channel Jumpstart. It's where I take a group of creators and teach them my system of how to look at YouTube. And it's more about understanding, who's watching your content, the type of content that will resonate with that viewer, and then ultimately how to analyze and really adjust based off of that. So that's what I do. It's called Channel Jumpstart. I had a student that went through the whole process, and they made their first video, and they were getting about 50 views per video. And ultimately, they went through and they got like 60 views, and they got 10 more views, and like, oh my gosh, this doesn't work. And so they're thinking, oh man, I went and put so much more effort into it. That it's just not working. And I says, well, why don't you just wait and continue as, every video that you're working on, put as much energy and effort into that content, and really look at the value. Now, the thing is YouTube did find a little bit more value. Like, there's more people that actually watched that video. So he did the next one and got 10 more. So he got 70 video views on that out of the gate, right? So there's a little bit of momentum, and you're like thinking, okay, this is going to be like slower than molasses. It's going to be slower than tar to get this channel to create. And in about 120 days, that first video got 1.6 million views. Okay, YouTube would just test it out a little bit. Who's the audience? Because that's what YouTube's doing, is like, who's the audience for this intended viewer, right? For video. Who's that audience that would be the best for the video? And so ultimately, at the end of the day, YouTube was testing it out until it found the audience, tested the audience, put it on the homepage, and then guess what happened? I mean, millions and millions of views. And then his channel actually took off because he actually had other content that he put just as much time, energy, and effort into, and they actually wanted to watch more. So it really lifted the channel, and he went from just under 1,000 subscribers, you know, and he's pushing 500,000 right now. So it's just like, at the end of the day, there's so much that you can do. Now, all right. Next one is, what's inside? Hey, Dan, how's it going, man? Nice place. Okay, new place. Nice. It's like still, I'm in boxes everywhere. I've been focusing everywhere on business except for my office. And as soon as we get it all done and lit, it's going to be nice. But yes, we'll have you over for dinner. You got to come see it. We just got all the wedding and everything stuff done. So yeah, we'll do that. Thanks for the $50. I'll apply it for dinner. Does that sound good? We'll do that for dinner. That'll be great. So, okay, moving on to the next one. On my main channel is approaching 300,000 subscribers. Hey, congratulations. It's a biker channel. To grow fast, to broaden it out, or do I stay the course to grow? Okay, so in fact, I just actually had some YouTubers here at my house yesterday. One was bikes and beards. So here's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, motorcycle channel on YouTube was here at my house. So the question is, you know, growth and strategy. And I can tell you, it's when you really start breaking it down, it's really understanding what works on your channel and what doesn't. And so what I would do is go to your analytics, really start grouping all the videos that work really, really, really well in your content and with your viewer. And I would spend at least 2 to 3 hours and start reading comments. And you've probably read comments before, just because a lot of creators do that. They like to get the pulse. But I want you to read comments differently and say, okay, what was the value proposition of this video? Like what was the value of this video for the viewer? And I want you to start reading the comments and pay very close attention if they do time codes. And then what I always like to look for is the most engagements. Like it's almost like its own thread. There's like content within my content. I like to look for that and see what's being said. And generally you're going to have some ideas to do a video. Generally, you're going to understand maybe verbiage that you can actually connect deeper with that audience, some desires that they have or whatever. And I think the more that you could actually do that. So, you know, don't broaden out if you are a biker channel, like don't broaden out. And if it's a biker channel, like for motorcycles, don't broaden out. If you are a biker channel for a pedal bike channel, then don't broaden out regardless of what it is. Because I guess biker could be something, you know, multiple different things, but I would assume it's a motorcycle channel. But it's like, what other veins can you do that bikers would like to do? And then two, what's going to interest them, you know, along the way? And I think that's where I would start doing some ideation, very much so when it comes to that. So thank you so much. And really do appreciate the super chat. Okay, so what we're going to do right now, and I want to make sure that we you know, give some things away. So for me, I want to talk about VidSummit. So we'll keep on answering. These questions are not going to go away. I'm going to be here for a while. But we have VidSummit coming up. It's our 10th year, and it's October 3rd through the 5th. And what I'm going to be doing is giving away a ticket. And I want to be able to kind of explain why I actually started VidSummit. And why 10 years ago, I'm like, oh, this is so needed. And you know, the whole experience from there. So YouTube, when YouTube started, you know, like I saw the whole possibility of this now what they're calling creator economy. And I saw that creators were building businesses, not just building YouTube videos. And there was so many business opportunities that are out there. And ultimately, that's why I started VidSummit, is because I went out there and I was like looking at different conferences, like, well, that's more for fan creator experiences, or that's more for musicians, or you know people that are in entertainment and that thing. But there's not the business side. There's not something where people care about the data, they care about the audience, they care about scaling the businesses, processes, and systems. And so I basically said, I'm going to just invite people that I know, and we're going to go ahead and talk about things that we care about, things that are important to us. And that's how the first VidSummit started. And so for me, we did it. We had like 75 people there, and it was great. I had ideas that brought me millions of dollars. It did, from people that were teaching on stage, people that I was talking to. And it was like this collaboration of creators helping creators. And that's how it all started. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little video. Don't go anywhere. I mean, we're going to give away a ticket right after this. But this video is just kind of more the feel of VidSummit. So really quick question. If you've ever been to any VidSummit, put it in the comments that you've been to VidSummit. If you're coming to this VidSummit, I want to know that as well. And then right after that, I'm going to pick a comment and we're going to give a ticket away. So does that sound good? All right, let's do it.
coordinating my shoes.
Okay, so many different things. I get so many different emotions that happen at VidSummit, and seeing that kind of that hype reel gets me excited because I see a lot of my friends that I only get to see one time a year. You know, I mean, we talk a lot online, but it's like we get to actually go and break bread and have fun and listen to you know, the people that are moving the needle on YouTube and have discussions. Really do love that. And then two, there's two cool things that actually happened at the last VidSummit. One was Colin and Samir who are coming back this year too, was teaching how to go from 0 to 1 million subscribers. And they, at the end of the presentation, they were almost at 1 million subscribers. So we just kind of held off. Like we stopped VidSummit and we just watched the countdown clock go until they hit 1 million subscribers. It was actually one of the most surreal, cool moments, because everybody in the room that has experienced that before knows how it feels to experience that and something special. And those that didn't hit it yet had something to inspire to, and we were all cheering for it. It was very emotional. It was so cool. That was a great thing. The next one was I did this little contest, and we were doing some stuff and giving away some prizes and stuff. And then I wanted to give away something really valuable to me, which is my time. And so I had six creators, female creators, come on stage, and I gave all 6 of them basically a channel jumpstart membership where they could come in, and then I would mentor them. And the goal was getting someone to come back and speak on stage. And I met someone there who's just magnetic and just engaging. And she actually spent all her money that she had in the bank account to actually come to VidSummit, and she won the mentoring. And she had, she'd been on YouTube doing some content, and ultimately went through Channel Jumpstart. Her channel started to blow up, and now she's going to be one of the featured speakers, because I mean, she's like at least 600 million video views, somewhere around there, and like 1.3 million subscribers. Is crazy. Jenny is amazing. And so it was really cool to see that, because data told me that 1 out of 6 people that go through my mentoring program, it just clicks and it pops off. And so, she was definitely there. So what we're going to do is give away that ticket. So I'm going to give you one last thing. Go ahead. If you want to ticket, just go ahead and say, I'd love to go. For me, if you win the ticket, if you've already purchased the ticket, you don't get to refund your ticket, but you get to bring somebody with you. You get that additional ticket from there. And ultimately that's what we're all about at VidSummit, is, really creating that opportunity. And so, you can sell the other ticket, I could care less, but ultimately, it's going to be fun. And I found that it's really good to go with some people, people that you know. Okay. So the comment I'm going to just hit, I've been queuing these up, and I'm going to just hit one random comment. And Danny, you are coming to VidSummit. So this is what you need to do. You need to go to Twitter or X or whatever Elon Musk is calling it these days, and you need to give me a DM, and you need to say, I'm gonna take a screenshot just so I remember your name, which I'll remember your name, but just say, hey, won the free ticket, and ultimately we will get you that ticket and get you all the information, because that's happening here soon. And really excited. See, it pays to come on the live stream to ask questions and to respond there as well. So, okay. So we'll be giving more books away. We're going to give more VidSummit tickets away. Who knows? I might even give away a 12-week mentoring program. Who knows? We'll see what happens here. Okay, so here we go for the next question here. Good morning. My name is Kim, and my channel is focused on car meets. Would you suggest uploading in close to proximity of the date of the event, or holding on to the video so we can upload weekly, or etc.? So, okay, so exotic cars, it looks like, I can't tell what type of car is in your little avatar thumbnail. So like for me, I don't try to figure out, I'm like, what's going to be best for people, and what's going to be best for the viewer? Because that's what YouTube's doing too, right? I know that human nature, we like consistency. There's some people that says they don't like consistency, but they still like consistency. Let me kind of explain where that's at. We love what we do, and there's a lot of people that like to watch what they're into, and there's a lot of people that want to watch content weekly, where they can weekly connect with their favorite creators. In fact, every morning when I wake up, I go through a process of, my day, and part of my day is the type of creators that I'm going to learn from, or I'm going to consume, or I'm going to be entertained by, and ultimately that's my consistency. And I know certain creators release on certain days, and that's when I watch their content. And so for me, that's what it's all about, is to be consistent with that. So I would say, this is probably the most important advice that I would give you. Don't make a channel focused in on car meets. Make a channel on content that would engage with people that like to go to car meets. What is that? What is that thing? They like to see, like, usually when they do like a car, car show or a car meetup, it's about showing off your ride, right? Like at the end of the day, it's like, hey, showing off your ride. Like, what are the mods? What are the things you did? What have you done? Because you guys all like cars. Back in the day, I used to belong to like the Rotary Club, and our main event that we put on every year was a car show. It was the Hurricane Easter Car Show. I ran it for 5 years. Like I was like, running the whole event. I'm crazy, I guess. And, so I got to know all these car enthusiasts from all the world and understand what the value is. At the end of the day, they love to talk about their car. And so if your channel's more about seeing cool cars and it's like a car show where you're showing it off, people are like giving you the tour, all the mods, or if there is no mods, if it's just like straight stock, but there's a story behind it of why did they get this car? What's the whole thing? That's interesting. And I think that would really engage people that love that type of content. And then ultimately you could even have it where each video is a different car. And you're really just kind of going from there. So like for me, that's what I would do. Cause like, it would still, like, you still do your car meets. You can talk about, hey, we're meeting up over here, because we love cars, all this other stuff. That's what I would do. And I can tell you right now, that will work. I just know it. I just know it because like I've done enough work with that specific audience, and then two, I actually have a channel that is more automotive in that regard, and I know kind of the priority they put on it and what they actually look at. And so ultimately, what I would do is like really focus in on that and why people go to the car shows, car meetups. What's that value? What are when they go, dang man, that's like so nice ride, whatever. What are they saying that? That's what you need to be able to start showcasing in the video. So very, very good. Thank you so much for that super chat. And here we go, Mr. Ryan Shields. Hey man, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for the super chat. I don't know if you're supposed to add a question. You left it blank. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, brother. Okay. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Little Duckling. Thanks for the super chat. Any lesser known secrets of getting high number of live viewers? Okay. So I've probably live streamed more as a content strategy than most, and I treat even bigger creators. I get them to do live streams. I think there's a way to connect with the community. It really depends. It depends on who your audience is. I got to confess something. I don't know if I broke terms of service or anything, but I had this live stream that went for like 8 months straight. I just wanted to see what I would do. I did. And then like how many views and how many I could get concurrent. And, it went straight. And that was like 7 years ago. I don't know, somewhere around there. It was just a long time ago. And it was just like really learning everything about live streaming, what can be done and so on. So here's where I would do it. It just depends on the live stream. Like, I didn't really do any promotion for this live stream. And I just said, hey, I'm going to be here. And I let people to be notified or whatever. That's fine. But I think at the end of the day, to get that concurrent number up is to do a few things. It's like literally making your live stream special. There's a reason why that live stream exists, not just because you just live stream your own content. And then two, finding a way to notify people of when it's going to happen. So there's a company that I co-own with my partner, Dallas Jenkins. Is called The Chosen. It's a TV show. And in fact, we got a live stream coming up tomorrow. And there's the kind of like the promotions going on. So we have text messages that are going out. We have emails that's going out. We have social media posts like notifying people for them to go on the live stream. And the question is, what is going to be the value proposition? So for us, the value proposition is, hey, we're ending production of season 4. We're celebrating that. Come celebrate with us. So like people love the show. They love what we've been doing. We do behind the scenes. There's the value. Well, who do they want to see? Well, they want to see the creator. That's great. That's Dallas Jenkins, my partner. And number two, they want to see the guy that plays Jesus. So like that's our draw of having them on. And so people are going to come on and they're going to just check in, even if they only do for 10 or 12 minutes. You know, for us, that's what it's about. It's about creating that demand and then doing it you know, special enough that it's just not every time, because they're like, oh, you do live streams every week or whatever. There's nothing special about it except that I can go and maybe interact with you. So the biggest thing would be looking at opportunities. Now, here is some secrets. You want to know secrets? A couple would be look at other live streams that are ending. Nick Nimmin just ended his live streams. A lot of people came over here. You can do what we call a raid at the end of the live stream, pushing traffic somewhere else. Community tabs work really well. If you have channels that have like-minded viewers, be able to notify people, it comes up. YouTube does a pretty good job at getting that YouTube title and thumbnail in front of people when you come on live. And so there's different ways to do it. I like to do that little external X factor of building lists off of YouTube and pushing them to at least be notified and so on when that YouTube live stream drops. So very good. Man, I am giving these long, okay, who's impressed with the long answers? I mean, these are like the longest answers of all time. I could give you like 2-sentence replies, but I don't know. I'm on one today, so I'm ready to do this. Okay. This is why. Daryl, just audiobooked the YouTube formula the past week. Thank you. How important is your channel name and how do you pick a good name? Thank you. Look, for me, channel name doesn't really mean anything. I'll watch a lot of videos without even looking at who the channel creator is, and I think a lot of people do too. But it's all about good branding. And I think what is your overall mission? So when I'm starting a channel, I actually do branding first, and I want to try to figure out, you know, what channel would resonate, what name would resonate with the viewer that says, oh, I really like that kind of content. And then two, I want to make it really easy for them to understand and to say, because I want them to see it. So we actually had a YouTuber on that just gave us like a $50 super chat, what's inside. And how he got started is his son had a science project, and they took out the camera, recorded, and cut open a ball to see what was inside the ball. And ultimately, that channel was called What's Inside. Well, that's great. That's great branding, because it's like, that's the channel. It's like, let's see what's inside this. Let's see what's inside that. And so, hey, did you check out that channel, or did you check out that video where they What's Inside showed what was inside a snake rattle? You know, that's great. Or, you know, wasp's nest or whatever. Like, that's great. Like, there's great content that you're able to do that. But also it helps people know the intent of your content. Now, that being said, you got to look at the long-term play, because I've seen a lot of creators create channels and then they find something that they're really excited about and their channel name doesn't make sense. And they're like, do I rebrand or not? I'm like, no, just don't rebrand. Just make it, you know, appealing enough for the type of content you're creating now, but you don't need to change it once you're hitting. I think once you start growing an audience, people will actually want to connect with you. So, all right, let's do this. Okay, next one is Six Shop. At the end of the 30-day challenge, what do you suggest if I do a no strings budget? Should I use the data to integrate? Any suggestions? Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna go over to Twitter or x.com or whatever. I'm gonna give you this book. If you just went through the 30-day challenge, I'm gonna give you this book, and just DM me over there. I'll take a screenshot real quick so I know that I get you the book. Here's the thing. I don't think that you need a budget to really succeed on YouTube. It's helpful in so many different ways, but I'm saying you don't necessarily need a budget. It's all about the idea. It's all about the value proposition, and it's all about creating a great video for someone that loves the idea, loves the value proposition, get them to the end of the video. And so it's putting just time into it, making sure you get it right. And so for me, I would rather do my best, but also have a deadline. Because like if you're always just polishing it up, you're never going to release. So I like to have a deadline and really go from there. And so ultimately, I'm going to do the best I can with is the time that I have, and then I'm going to hit that deadline and upload, and then I'm going to analyze, did that work, did it not work, and that's where the data comes in. And yes, I always use data to iterate. There's just no ifs, ands, and buts about it. I want to say, okay, what happened in the video? Did we keep the bulk of the people for the first 10 seconds? Did we keep it for the first 30 seconds? Do we keep it for the first minute? How can we improve? Did we have drop off? What was that drop off? I want to analyze that very, very specifically. Now you might say, what if I don't get any views? Well, then you don't get to use that type of data. You have to use a lot of hypotheticals, like, okay, did we actually do it? Did this grab people's attention? But I also like to look at other people's data too. It's like looking at channels and videos that perform, and I'm like, why did this one perform? Not that I'm trying to I want to understand. I want to learn from them, and so that's where I look at it. So make sure you hit me up on Twitter to get that book. We'll send you a book. You might even have one. You can give it out to your friend. Okay. The Cello Online. All right. How do I get people to sign up for free stuff? My niche mine is a very niche / hobby market. Having trouble to give the stuff away. Sorry. Okay. My mind's going faster than my lips. Okay. So, why do we want to give away free stuff? What's the purpose of giving away free stuff? I'm giving away free stuff right now. I'm just doing it because, I'm like, hey, this is cool. We can go for it, right? Giving books away, giving VidSummit tickets away. I'm not using an email list. I'm not doing that. I'm just having them DM me directly. And so that's just more, hey, giving back. That's a way to give back. That's the way that I do it. I do believe if you want to give free stuff in your on your channel, so like if you're doing cello stuff and you want to get people in learning maybe a tip or technique in using the cello or whatever, that there is a way to maybe get some free training or something that they would find valuable. And I don't know. I would look at the value of what you're offering and make that so that it's appealing enough that the people who are actually watching it that are interested in that type of stuff would want to go to a landing page, put their information in, and then get it based off of the exchange of that email for that value proposition. So I would definitely love doing that. Now, there's other ways to do it. You can do contests. Make sure you read the community guidelines for YouTube. You want to stay in line with what YouTube wants. Things change all the time. But if you're giving away for free and there's no purchase or anything like that, and just where it's at is fine. But I would just say look at the value and what the type of things that you're looking to give away. And maybe you need to level it up. Maybe it's like to give away a cello or give away something, there's a lot of people learning cello. I don't know if that's what your channel is. I'd have to go look, but I'm just saying they might be learning cello and they rent their cello. It'd be great that they could actually own one, but they're renting it for school. So, there's several ways to do that. Okay. Very good. All right. We're getting close to do another VidSummit ticket giveaway. So let's do this. We got quite a few of these questions to come in, and I'm gonna stick around. I'm gonna answer the questions. Might have to speed it up a little bit because I could get so long-winded. But what I want to do right now is really focus in on those that have come to VidSummit, but it's been a few years. Okay, so if you come to VidSummit, it's been a few years. I guess the question is going to be, and I'm going to be looking for this very specifically, is what value did sorry, my mind's going faster. So say, hey, I've gone to VidSummit, it's been a few years. Okay, that's the first thing you got to say. So that's kind of like the thing that I'll be looking for. The next thing would be the value that VidSummit actually brought you when you went. And let's go ahead, and do this. I want to be able to select someone that you will get a ticket. Now, if you already have a ticket to VidSummit, I would still do it because that will give you an extra ticket. That'll give you a +1 that you can give another creator. You can be someone's hero and say, hey, come to VidSummit with me. You know, there's a lot of great stuff from there. So let's go ahead and do that. Basically, you need to have the value though. I'm looking for what value you did if you've been to VidSummit before. Now, you might say, I haven't been to VidSummit, Daryl. Like, I want to go to VidSummit. Like, I had never been. It's been 10 years, whatever. We're going to still give some more tickets away today. Trust me. I'm telling you here. We're going to give tickets away to you that haven't come to VidSummit, never been, because I want you there as well. Okay. And I know it is expensive, but it is so expensive to put on conferences, man. You have no idea. It is so crazy. Okay, so while that is going, I'm going to show a couple images, and I want to talk about basically VidSummit a little bit. This first image is my partners. So I'm partnered up with two amazing individuals, Mr. Beast, Jimmy Donaldson, and Sean Duras with Space Station Integrations and Space Station. And I'm telling you, these guys are so awesome. And I brought them on later at different times. Both of them wanted to be a part of VidSummit. They wanted to own a part of VidSummit. And so we created that. For me, that's what it's all about. Like, I want to be surrounded by people that are moving the needle in so many different ways. Sean Duras is one of the smartest business people I've ever met. Like, the way that he processes things and the way that he approaches it, he's just super smart. And Mr. Beast is Mr. Beast. Okay. Like, he doesn't do anything small. Like, there's just nothing that he does small there. But VidSummit is a place, and this is the year that is our 10th year. So it means quite a bit for us. And you know, we made it to our 10th year. We moved to Texas. And for a couple reasons. We outgrew where we were at. The last VidSummit was so tight. We had the fire marshal there. We had issues with the city. We had all this stuff that was going on. It was so tight. And we wanted to make it super convenient for people to travel in. And I was always feeling bad that everybody on the East Coast has to fly over to the West Coast. And then when there's a West Coast thing, everybody has to go to the West Coast to fly to the East Coast. And I'm like, well, what if we just did it in the central, area? And so looked at one of the bigger movers where a lot of YouTubers are, where I spend a lot of time, and that is Dallas, Texas. That's why we actually moved to Dallas, and so it's been so great. And basically what we do is we want to have the best people on stage. This is one of my students, Hope Scope. She crushed it last year, gave one of the best presentations I've ever seen on the stage. She was talking about viewer avatars and how she actually approaches it. We had Wingy jump on. Wingy's like so amazing. It was talking about how she was able to use her online presence to build $100 million company. And then, of course, we had the Colin Samir moment, which I love. And then two, having people like Jenny, who was asking questions, now is going to be on stage as stuff. I love stuff like that. And then we had an Uno tournament where we basically gave away to this lady right here $20,000 because she won the Uno tournament. So that's something that we're always doing. You can find information at vidsummit.com. Look in the description. We're going to go from there. Now, what we're going to do is give away a ticket, and then jump back into the questions, and I'll be here for quite a bit because there's a lot going on here. Let's go here. I am looking for someone that is gone, but it's been a few years, and I'll still give other tickets away. In fact, we'll give 2 tickets away. How's that sound? Does that sound good? Okay, the first one that I'm going to give away to is this one. So, Family Funster, you're coming. I know you've never been. I promised that we would do both. So we'll just go ahead and give you a ticket. What you need to do is go to Twitter or x.com now and just send me a DM. It's just my name. And we'll get you a ticket to come to VidSummit. So congrats on that. See, it pays to come on a Saturday. But let me see if I can find someone. All right. The next one is Sarah McDonald went last year. It was amazing. Nothing like to be surrounded by other people who are passionate about YouTube. Would love to go again this year. And Sarah, you're coming. You're coming to VidSummit. So all you need to do is go to Twitter, DM me, and we'll get you that. So we'll continue to give tickets out today. Okay, does that sound good? All right. So let's jump into the questions here. Next one is coming from Ned. Hey, buddy. Do you have a sense of the algorithm in the current state of valuing AVD over APV or vice versa? Thank you. And hey, Justin, love your consultation session. Okay, so Justin's he's actually the president of my agency and my consulting company. Looks like he had a consultation with Ned, which is good. Okay, so here's the thing. Everyone is like, where's the algorithm and the value and where does this go here and what's there? And I want to just tell you very simply what I look for. I want to know what my audience clicks on, and I want to know how long they stay on videos. So the watch time hours is what I'm the most sensitive to. Okay. Now, average view duration is a debatable thing because it's like, here's the average view duration. So let me give you a scenario. Well, what if it was like you're looking at your analytics, you look on a video and it's like 2 minutes on a 10-minute video, and you're like, man, that didn't work very good on the average view duration. Then I would say that you're looking in the wrong place. Now you can do the average percent viewed, and you can go in that detail. But what I'd like to do is look at the traffic source. And if I go to the traffic source and notice that there's an external traffic that applies to 50% of the video, and it came from Google as an external source, and they only watched 10 seconds of it, that impacts what's going on there. Now, but I'm looking down at the traffic source for browse, which is homepage and subscription feed, and yet it's 8 minutes, almost 9 minutes of a 10-minute video. Then that's where I'm looking. Okay, so I'm looking more closely on traffic sources and engaging with that. So for me, that's what I look at. And then two, there is another factor that I look at is the graph. Like YouTube is literally giving us the keys to the kingdom. I want you to understand that, Ted. Like there's the most underrepresented section of YouTube is the advanced mode, which I love. And then those that don't want the advanced mode, the audience tab. Like the audience tab tells you everything you need to know. It's like returning viewer. Okay, you have two graphs. One's blue, one's purple. One's a new viewer, one's a returning viewer. My goal is get a new viewer converted to a returning viewer. Okay, and then it shows you right under that videos that are transforming a new viewer into a returning viewer. Well, that tells you, hey, this, use content like that. You can see other videos that your audience watches. Yeah, you have a lot of ideas here, but ultimately I look at average view per viewer. Okay, I look at click-through rate, how long they stayed on the video, that watch time hours. I'm really sensitive to that, and then the average view per viewer. So I want to know how many views did that one viewer come in and do, and in a period of time. We can break it down to 28 days or 90 days, but I want to know what that average view per viewer is, because that tells me loyalty. And then I'm also looking on the graph for the new viewer to returning viewer, because that's what I want. I want to know, do they coming and watching more, and is their loyalty? If the purple is above the blue, there's loyalty. Okay, we want the blue to come up as much as we can, because that is bringing in new viewers, and our goal is to acquire the new viewers and convert them into a returning viewer, and then lower the churn rate down where they just only watch a couple videos, but we want them to watch and binge watch content. So if they're watching 5 or 6 videos, in a 28-day period, and I'm releasing 4 in a month, that's great. That's a really good average view per viewer. That's great loyalty. That's what we're trying to do. So thank you, my man. Appreciate about that. And let's do another one. We have V Family Vlogs. Thank you so much, from New Zealand. I don't know if that was supposed to have a question on it, but thank you so much. And we will go to the next one. The bearded IT dad. I recently had a video go mini viral, getting about 1.5 thousand views a day. My question is, how do I figure out how to replicate that video? Is there any easy way to figure out the right, what I did right and replicate that? Okay, so let me, this is probably the best thing to do. Now, mini viral, I don't like to use the word virality. I think it means something different for everyone that goes on. I like to use, I had a video pop off or whatever. I'm not trying to change your vocabulary or anything like that, but I want to kind of explain what I look at. So the first thing that I ask myself is why. Why did that video perform better than another video? Okay, if you are the bearded IT dad, there's something in the IT would be of value. Okay, was it something topical or trending or an issue that people are having, and it's surrounded by a specific subject? I would ask why. Why is that? Is that what's happening here? If so, what is the value of the video? And then why did people want to click on that title thumbnail combination differently than your other content? So there had to be some sense of curiosity. The next thing I would look for is the traffic. I would see, where did the traffic come from? So if your traffic came from search, then I know the intent of the viewer, that they were actually going, how do I do this? And they see your video. So it could have been the search volume is being done. Maybe it was suggestion. Maybe there's another video that popped off that you're able to see, oh, they needed to recommend another YouTube video, and yours is the video that recommends. So that's where you're going from there. Ultimately, browse feature would be putting on the homepage of people that it would have been relevant to. So I look very closely at all traffic sources. There's another one that I want you to look at, which is, external. So if it's external, it could have been embedded on somebody's website. It could be going from there. That's what I look at. So if the traffic source is external, I'm like, okay, probably won't be able to replicate that because someone found value enough to put it on a page. And that's where the traffic's coming from. But if it's search, if it's browse feature, if it's suggestion, I can. So if it's search, I'm thinking, okay, what video should I actually do that is coinciding with this video that they'd find valuable? So if it's like, hey, here's problem solving this, and this is what you need to do, they come and look through search. Well, what video would actually be the best for that person that is Googling or on YouTube trying to search and find the answer to that? And then what would be the logical question, or I'm sorry, what would be the logical video for them to watch next? Because they got to watch something next. And if you're like, hey, here's 5 mistakes when doing this, and you're like, oh, okay, that kind of coincides. That's a really interesting way to do it. Now, if it's suggestion and browse feature, I would be looking at it completely different, which would be, what is the value of the video? Is it around a specific topic? Is it around a specific problem? Did you offer a solution? Is there several different ways to approach it? That's where you can actually start replicating some of these things and know, oh, maybe your audience is more interested in, this type of IT work or whatever this is, or this type of troubleshooting. And so let's kind of dig into that a little bit more and then really look at the purpose of the video and go from there. So hopefully that makes sense. Congrats on the video popping off, which I love. And let's do the next one, Benjamin. So we got Benjamin again. What are the most powerful things you've learned from Mr. Beast? He puts extreme time, creativity, effort, and resources into every video. The more viral triggers combine, the more potential. I would say this, he's never satisfied. Every video sucks. He's always trying to improve. He's looking at, like, he gets really excited about a video. It comes out, gets 50 million video views in 48 hours. And then he's like, that's the worst video of all time. And he's like breaking it down, trying to figure out how to become better. I would say that his determination and striving to make the best possible content is probably the thing that most creators can really learn from him. I think the thing for me, like, is how focused he is on his content. Like, he's so focused. Like, I've seen him scrap millions and millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars because it wasn't good enough. Okay, and so that's a good thing, and it's also a bad thing. But I think it's a powerful thing that I learned work with him for sure. So, all right, here we go. Right, okay, fine. Ryan Shields puts a question in with the super chat. There we go. What are the top 3 use case for AI in content pipeline, and what is your top tools for recon and research? Okay, so here's the thing. There's so much with AI that is so interesting. I love the direction of where AI is going, and I'm excited about it because I love the future, you know, and there's a lot of cool things that are happening right now. And so AI is amazing. I was just watching a video that was produced all in AI. The voiceover, everything was done. And you could kind of tell that it was an AI produced video, but it's getting better. It's getting so good. I think it's the type of content creator. There's a lot of story channels on YouTube. There's a lot of people that are looking for the right type of B-roll. And I really like AI for that. It's like literally creating, or amplifying photos and video to become something, content. Because really the value is the narrative, and then using stuff like ChatGPT-4 and Bard gives you a really powerful way to maybe hone in on some of your scripts and giving you things that you didn't know. There's so many different things that I love. I would say personally for me, there's a couple. There's a couple AI things that are happening that have not been introduced yet, but I think if it's VidSummit, they're going to introduce it, which is going to be game changers. And you'll want to watch out for that. And there's one called Harpa AI I use quite a bit. It intertwines with ChatGPT-4, but you're able to do things. It's a Chrome extension, and you can kind of go from there. But I think at the end of the day, it's about seeing YouTube and understanding what works and what doesn't work on YouTube. And honestly, my best recon and research tools is me. Every day I set aside 20 minutes. Yes, there's software that can go find and discover videos out there for me. But I like doing it because it helps me with creativity. It helps me to understand, hey, this video took off and it has like 3 million views, and this channel only has like 10,000 subscribers. There's something going on. There's some value in that video. And I don't necessarily think that the way that their tools that are up to date right now has the ability to start assessing things in the way that I would look at it. And so I like to break things down. And so it will get there. I can guarantee it will. It's just more, using the tools for what they are. I think for content creation, like the stuff that Adobe's doing is just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. Midjourney, same thing, unbelievable. There's going to be a lot of issues come up, legal issues come up, and so for me, I'm always wanting to own everything, and that copyright and stuff like that, because it can get really weird quick. And I've just seen this happen before, so you just got to be careful and be smart. So, okay. Next one is, can men get some love with a free VidSummit ticket? Yeah, we got, I think we gave away, did we not give away to a man? I swear we gave one to a man. I'd have to go back through my thing, but I'm grabbing, I don't know if Family Funster's a man or not. Maybe that's what I assume. There's a few of these that are on there, but we'll see what happens. Appreciate that. Okay. All right. Let me do this. Let me go. Let me see if I can rapid fire some of these questions real quick. Because I'm just giving a really Okay, here's another one. Bearded IT guy, VidSummit is amazing. Went last year and loved it. Thank you, Bearded IT, for that super chat. And then I know we just answered your question. Man, we got a lot of these that are. Thank you for the super chat on this. All right, and okay. Okay, here's one, and this is another one. What are the best resources for developing title thumbnails without AI? My process is I always like to go through an exercise every day. So for 20 minutes a day, I look to see what's on YouTube. I don't necessarily watch everything that's on YouTube, but I'm seeing, okay, what's out there, and I look at the title, look at the thumbnail, what's like literally grabbing my attention. I will take screenshots of the ones I'm like, hey, that's a really good thing. It grabbed my attention. I do it, and I put it over into a library. And I look for patterns between that. And I do believe when you get in the habit of really finding good thumbnails and you're like always looking, and I like to look in other niches that are not mine to see what they're doing, because it can give me inspiration of what I can do in my niche. And so there's a lot that can happen there, but that's I would say that's the way I do it, but it's not without AI, because YouTube is an AI and it controls AI. So you're kind of getting it without AI, but YouTube's trying to recommend it to you based on your viewing, your viewing history. So, but love that question, and thanks for the super chat. And anyway, all right, let's do this. Let me go through. Let's give away another ticket. Should we give away another ticket? That'll be good, right? Okay, so let me just kind of go through VidSummit. So VidSummit's in October 3rd through the 5th in Dallas, Texas. We bring the top creators on the planet to come in, and they're helping other creators that they're there to really learn the processes and systems that work on YouTube. And ultimately, we're bringing in people in the industry. What I love is this year, believe it or not, we're actually doing more job booths. So like Mr. Beast last 2 years had, hey, work with Mr. Beast. Now we have him and Preston Plays and a few others that will have booths there. So if you want to work with them very specifically, you can get a job. There's people to talk to, because like realistically, YouTube is this great, amazing economy, and you don't necessarily be in front of the camera. Like I don't like to be in front of the camera, believe it or not. And, for me, it's like, there's so many different positions. There's a lot of people that are skilled. And what I want to do is create an atmosphere of people coming together, having some fun and engaging. So that's how VidSummit all started. And we have some of the most amazing presenters on the planet coming. We really, really do. And I want to scroll down. I mean, some of these, I can't wait for Michelle Carr's, like some of these good ones, but it's like Sarah's content is so good, and she makes so much money, and she's really kind of explaining how you can work with a small channel and actually bring in own products and your own products and make millions of dollars. And like, that's a great session. And what I love about it is she's down under in Australia. She's flying all the way here just to give that presentation to you. So. And then Devin Stone, if you guys know who Legal Eagle is, he's like literally saying everything I wish I would have known starting my own YouTube channel, And then too, we have Zach King as a keynote. It's like there's so much that's going on. And hopefully today I'll be able to answer or finish the like 80% of the schedule. So later on to the schedule is going to be happening today. And so super, super, super excited about that. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go give away a ticket. And once again, if you have a ticket, you already purchased a ticket, there's no refunds. This will give you an additional ticket that you can bring someone or give away. And it is going to go to... let's see here. There's just so many comments coming in, so we're just gonna see what we got here. Anyone that really, really wants to go. Okay, there we go. Jesse Wang, me. I guess that's you. So you're going to get a ticket to VidSummit. All you need to do is DM me on Twitter and say, hey, I won. This is me. And me exclamation point, and I will get you in contact to get your redeem your free ticket. Now, if you already have a ticket, like I said, you get an additional one. You can't refund because I just gave you one. That's not how it works. Okay. All right. And it's all about helping creators help creators. Love it. Okay. Love it. All right. So let's get into answering questions. And here we go. Mackenzie Mill, hey, how are we doing? Good. It's like been forever, like a couple days. Started a new shorts channel in August. What would you suggest for a release strategy? How often to gain momentum? If it starts to gain momentum, how much breathing room? Thanks. Okay, so shorts are different than long form. Breathing room doesn't mean anything on shorts. Like usually YouTube has to make a choice what to put on the homepage, and you want to give it breathing room because if you put a new video out, it will cut something that's going. But on shorts, it doesn't. Like shorts feed, there's no choice. You either show up in the feed or you don't. That's basically where it's at. And so ultimately, I like to really understand what the value proposition, who the viewer is, and then consistently hit that. We actually had a jump starter, because I know you're a jump starter, that just got 298,000 subscribers in 28 days. And he started his channel in March, and it didn't start to pick up until June. So he was posting content 5 times a week. And it wasn't until June that it started to pop off, and then that's where he got well over 140 million video views and all those subscribers. But it was on a video that he released in March, so it took enough time. And then once that went, then all these other videos started to pop off. So for me, I would say at least 3 a week, but they need to be great videos, and there needs to be a value proposition, and then to be consistent at it. And then 2, as you're well aware, Jenny will attest to this, the channel jumpstart bucket system is what you need to do, because that's the way it works. As soon as you have one pop off, you want to double down on that for sure. Okay. Okay, man, I keep on getting the bearded IT guys, like keep on giving it here. So I had several videos not take off until 30 days later. Then all of a sudden it skyrocketed. What's going on here? Thank you so much for your amazing advice. Look at your traffic. Like, where did the traffic come from? So all you got to do is go to that video, select the time of the video. I would do it like the day before that it started to pop off, and then a couple days after, and it'll literally show you the traffic sources. So it'll say, oh, it got picked up here, and most likely it's suggestion if it's in 30 days, or YouTube deems it fit to go on the homepage going out more, so it's proven for that. So look for those two. Could have been external traffic, could have been embed, based on your content. So that's what I would do. All right, Jack. When reading about video strategy / buckets, I can understand how to appeal to viewers, but I'm lost about when trying to appeal to the algorithm. Well, don't appeal to the algorithm. Appeal to viewers. That's what we're trying to do. Is what works for people will work for the algorithm. Now, there is a thing that I look for is what is the correlation of the title, because some titling is there. So like if I was making a specific video and the value proposition was in the title and I wanted to do that video again, like, buying all, let me just do it like, buying a fill-in-the-blank camera on Amazon. So the fill-in-the-blank could be $1,000 camera on Amazon, and I could probably do a $5,000 camera on Amazon. I think there's ways to do it where it is the fill-in-the-blank, it's the type of video that you're doing. You can do it consistently, and then they change out the video, or it's $1,000 not on Amazon, but it might be at Best Buy. So you're able to kind of go from there and change it out. And so I always like to look at that way, is like, how do I actually explain what's going on in a simple way for people to understand there's enough curiosity? And then 2, it's consistent. where the recommendation engine would work based on the viewing patterns and the predictability that says, oh, this is the type of video that it is. And that's where keywords make sense for people because they know what the type of content it is. And then it also makes sense for YouTube to recommend. So very good, very good. Next one, Jives and Jubilee. You've mentioned in the YouTube formula, the buyer persona is a small segment of your viewer persona. How do I target the value of the viewer persona from a how-to buyer persona? Looking to switch my content to appeal to the viewer persona and increase my average view per viewer. Okay, so look. What I like to do is realize that not everyone is buying or using videos to buy. And there's a lot of people, creators that look at that. So I'm like, what is going to be valuable for them? And you don't like, when you really target a niche, it's really looking at what the general audience would like. And what would more like it's on brand, it's on the topic, but it's like, how do I take one step just to broaden it out? So let me give you an example. If I was doing a video on how to make a chicken sandwich, that's great. A lot of people says, hey, it's food, it's chicken sandwiches, it must be coming close to lunchtime, so I'm hungry and I'm thinking about that. But what if it was how to make a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich? We just made it more general. There's more curiosity because it's taking one of the best chicken sandwiches of all time and giving you the ability to how to make that. Well, what if we did it for under $1? Then it's like how to make a Chick-fil-A sandwich for under $1. Then I'm like, wait, I'm saving money here. So there's a lot of different things you can do, and it appeals to a more general audience. And it's not for the buyer. It's like literally going from there. Now, I don't know what your niche is. I have no idea of what you're trying to do, but I always try to say, what are the couple other variables that can broaden it out for more people? And then two, not lose that core audience, that buying audience, but they're going to find it valuable too because they do care. So very, very good. Appreciate the super chat. Okay, next one. Cool Dog Walker. How long does it usually take that YouTube has enough data to show analytics for what audience watches and what channel your audience watches? Love the book and thanks for everything you do. Okay, so here's the thing. That data will come as you have a volume of viewers, and there's not like it just really depends on who's watching what. So you have to have some volume, some views on your video. I don't know what the minimum requirement is, but I'm going to tell you what I do. I actually do this more than even when YouTube says, "Hey, this is who your audience is," because like if I've started so many channels. I mean, I got gold play button. I guess gold play buttons over here and over there in the boxes, all this other stuff. I got gold play buttons coming out my ears, and I don't have data on a lot of these channels when they're starting out. I don't know what they watch, right? But I try to understand who the viewer is. And then I'm like, okay, what are some natural content that they would be gravitated to? And I start watching those videos, and I like to look at what is being recommended. So if I'm clicking on a video, what is being recommended? Now, keep in mind, from your browsing history, YouTube is going to make recommendations for other videos for you to see. But based on that video, there should be a few of them closer to the top that would be related to that video, okay? And so you can go down a rabbit hole. And so I like to kind of see what's happening there. And I always look for a high view count and really high view to comment ratio. Comments actually means engagement, and they're not ranking off engagement, but it tells me that it responded on a deep level that people were leaving comments. And I want to know what type of comments. And I want to watch that video to see why they're doing that. And so that gives me a lot of data there. So don't know what the minimum actually is. I just know that, I always tell my students in Channel Jumpstart, if you don't have 1,000 video views on a video, you don't have enough data. Because then you get 1,000, you can start. I believe, not maybe from YouTube, maybe YouTube thinks it's more or less, but I feel like 1,000 views can give you some data that you can actually start manipulating and changing your content in a way to really engage an audience. And so, but don't know what that one is in analytics. That's a great question. I'm gonna find out the answer to that because that's a really good question. All right, moving on to the next one, Family Vlogs. Hey, Daryl, if we don't have much data in analytics, what's the best ways to research our viewers or our avatars' psychographics? And will there be replays at VidSummit? I can't go because I live in New Zealand, Australia. I don't know where that was coming from. Okay, yes, there are replays to VidSummit. Every year we do the replays. And you can get them, there. We'll be selling them closer to the event. You'll start seeing that pop off. Right now, we're just selling the tickets there. And then if you do get a ticket to VidSummit, you come in person, you get replays regardless. Because I like to go to all the sessions, but you can only go to one session in person, and I want you to have that as well. So basically, the best place to do research on the avatars' psychographics is what I just explained. I like to see what videos they would be watching and reading the comments because you can see what the value is there. I also like to really think of things surrounding them. So if you read the book, the YouTube formula, it talks about looking at, what they do online, what they do offline, what type of habits and behaviors that they have, and I like to break that down and understand them a lot more in detail. So for me, if you're going after the family vlog type of channels, people like to peer into people's lives, see what's actually happening, see the day-to-day. There's a lot of family vlogs out there. You can start seeing what resonates. Usually there's something around it. It could be a lot of kids or small kids, or, it could be, off the grid, wrenching or whatever. There's different ways. You have to look at the value proposition, what they're peering into. So, all righty, Brendan, question. I do Bible scriptures and I'm stuck at nearly 2,000. What should I do to grow more? Well, it depends on the value that you're bringing there. Like if you're just reading a scripture, are you doing commentary, you're going in depth, you're talking about theology, or is it just reading the scriptures? For me, if it is, maybe it is, read with me, or, a lot of people will actually listen to the Bible and they'll pick a YouTube channel and they'll kind of go from there and they just listen as they work or as they go out, which is great. If that's the case, I would probably do maybe some of your videos could be longer. I know someone that reads different things, that they do like 2 hour, 3 hour videos, and people are just getting that watch time and it's just growing, and they do it consistently every week where they're adding to it. But it could be like a Bible scripture reading challenge where you're going to get through the Bible within a year. Or you're going to get through each book at a specific amount of time or something like that. Or you're going to get through the Old Testament, in this amount of time. You can do stuff like that, and that will help them grow. And it's like, hey, get notified. Just make sure you subscribe so you get notified to stay up to date. It's really looking at why they'd be watching and what they're thinking there. So, thank you. All right. Moving on to the next one. I recently wanted to improve my channel and realized that I'm out of my league in making thumbnails. Should I hire a thumbnail artist, or should I take the time away from making content to learn the skill? Look, there are so many different things that we can do. It just depends on your personal finances. For me, I know I'm not the best at everything, and I would rather hire someone that's really good at something to help me excel. I do believe you need to know what a good thumbnail is. I do believe you need to be able to make that, because even if you hire a thumbnail artist, like you're just basically having them do Photoshop or whatever. But you got to know what a good thumbnail is, and they need to understand the principles behind it. And so I would spend the time, energy, and effort to become knowledgeable of what a great thumbnail is and what it's not. Look for patterns of what makes a great thumbnail and patterns of what doesn't. And I had a consultation, and the guy's like, I do the best thumbnails ever. And I look at it and I'm like, I wanted to vomit. I really did. It was like one of the worst thumbnail strategies ever. And I'm like, I don't even know what this is. and we talked about it. And before you know it, he realized, oh my gosh, that's why I'm not getting any views. He changed the thumbnail, and I got an email from him the other day, and his videos actually were good. They just didn't want to click on it because it looked like spam, And so once he was able to, it was more inviting, he was able to get the video views from there. So, all right. So yes, I would be a student. Doesn't mean you necessarily need to do it, but if you hire, make sure you know what a good thumbnail is. If not, you're going to just hire someone to make you thumbnails. And then when they don't work, yeah, that's not good. Okay. Keto twins. My sister and I are working hard to save up for VidSummit this year. Would love to get a free ticket to help us get us out. Okay, so this is what we'll do. You send me a confirmation of you purchasing one ticket, and I will bring the twin in. We'll give you a +1. How does that sound? Does that sound good? Was that worth the $4.99? Look, there you go. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. Coming to the Cello Online, following up to my earlier question, I use vidIQ competitor tool and had a faster growing cello channel for the last 10 months in 2022. I'm now number 2. Great. Yeah, I love the people at vidIQ. Love Rob Sandy and all the people there. Now Tim Schmoyer. My whole thing is I don't really use a lot of tools. I try to understand the viewer on a deep level. I try to see what they respond to my content, but tools like vidIQ can give you suggestions and ideas of, hey, here's things to look at. I don't see people as competition. That's my whole thing as a competitor tool. And I know it's more seeing what's out there, but I don't see people as competition. I either see them as a collaborator, and I compete with myself. And I look at what I do wrong, and I want to make better videos. And I think that I'll be honest with you, the biggest YouTubers that I've ever worked with are more focused in on their own content than somebody else's. So yeah, I would say look at everything from there. There's some really cool things like I've seen like the 2 cellos. I've worked with the piano guys, Steven Sharp Nelson. There's a lot of great content out. You just got to figure out what your value proposition and double down, triple down, quadruple down on it. So there's cool ways to do that. Okay. All righty. Okay, here we go. What steps should someone take if they have a short that does really well, but it's the wrong audience from long form? How do you find that the audience? So here's the thing. I can't tell you, like, I'm pro shorts. I am now, but it's just real like if I'm going to upload a video on my channel, and if I don't feel like it's the same audience, I'm not going to upload the video. I don't care how amazing the video is. I'll put it on a channel that I think it would respond to, because there's no point of building an audience that doesn't care about your other content. Like, it needs to go, both ways. And so I actually have a channel that I'm working with a creator very specifically, and we're just kind of honing out his long form content, because his shorts are taking off, and I just want to make sure we have good long form strategy. That is really important to really understand that it should be the same type of value proposition. And so if you are getting a lot of long form content, suggestions and connections and so on, and you're getting views from there, and it's a certain value proposition, I just be very cautious on doing both, because like, you don't want to have split audiences. Trust me, you don't, because you want to be able to grow it, and YouTube doesn't want it. So if it's a different audience, different channel, and so I would even probably take it off and put it on another channel if it was me. So, all righty, here we go. D's. Hey, Daryl, I'm struggling with storytelling in the world of retention and editing. I'm trying to connect with my audience on a deeper level, but don't know what to leave in the final edit. Okay, so man, it's tough. What I like to do is take 4 to 5 videos that are your top performers, And I like to go to the analytics, and I like to go to the retention graph and see what they liked. You can actually see spikes when they like something. That means they rewound something. There was some value. They might have did a time code there. Somebody in the comments, so people were doing it and seeing the value that's there. I like to watch the video all the way through. I like to read the comments all the way through. I like to start analyzing why that worked really well. Now, if the video has a whole bunch of views and the retention's lower, and you're like, wait, I don't understand this because the retention's lower because I had, so many more views. Well, YouTube, the more views you have, the lower your numbers are. The lower your retention numbers are, the lower your CTR is, higher your impressions are, of course, and the higher your views are, but all the other metrics are lower. You just got to look for those anomalies of like, a ton of people stayed on longer for the first 30 minutes or 30 seconds. Okay, great. Let's break that down. Why did I do it? And YouTube does a really good job of giving you ideas to look for, but I'd take 4 or 5 of those videos and just go through that and use that as your editing tool. So you'll know exactly how to edit. Now, you might see the story. That's why I want you to watch the whole thing and look at the storyline and ultimately go from there. But my whole thing is, there's a sense of too much and there's a sense of too little, and you got to find the right type of balance. And I think if you take your top performers and do that, and then I would do the same thing with your low performers and try to see what those patterns are, and then I would do your next edit based off of that. And it's hard to storytell. It's hard to keep people engaged. I don't know if you do anime content or what you're doing there. But I just, based off your avatar, is just something around that vein. I would probably look at channels that do a really good job at storytelling and really try to see how do they set up the story? How do they actually do this? There's some great anime, episode breakdowns that you can go and do and see how they're telling the story from there. But definitely take a look at your best performers, your worst performers, and see what was that X factor, what was that thing. And 9 times out of 10, it's how you're telling the story through the visuals and what you put in there. So, all righty. Wow, we got a lot of questions to do. I'm like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. If you were to restart and let's imagine your goal was trying to make 10 viral videos that get 5 million views in entertainment and education, then what would you do? Okay, so great question. I can tell you what I've done and what I will continue to do. I care about the audience more than everything. I care about who the person is, what they find valuable, the types of content they consume. I'd be looking who the audience is, and then I would do recon and research to see what's out there that is responding to that audience. And I would want to know a lot deeper. What you don't know, maybe you do, I don't know. When Mr. Beast did Beast Gaming, for 6 months, we were refining our content, seeing what would work, what didn't work. We didn't even upload a video. We scrapped so many different videos. We were going in depth on the channels and seeing what's there and what the value proposition is. 6 months. I've had channels that I've started. I used to start 2 channels a year. It's getting too much again. One that we partner with, so I'm just focusing on what our channels are now. I think we just did 1 this year, and I only do 1 this year. But ultimately, we spend so much time on understanding the audience. Like we really do. We try to break down, see what the audience is engaging with online, and see what they actually love about the content that we're creating. When it comes to education and entertainment, I look at the gold standard. The gold standard of education and entertainment is Mark Rober. And I like to see how his content is positioned, what his education is, how he makes it more engaging and lively. I'd say, okay, what is that area of entertainment and education I'm going after? Well, you actually now have the gold standard, I guess it's the titanium standard or platinum standard, whatever that is, and truly try to understand what's going on there, and then knowing how he tells the story, how he gets people curious, and so on and so forth. I think that's great. And I'd just probably spend 2 or 3 months just on that, and really coming up with ideas, and I'd probably brainstorm every day based on learning about the audience on coming up with 5 or 6 videos, and you times that out, by 60. I mean, that's a lot of video ideas. And then I'd really start honing in on, how many titles I get excited about, like easy to understand, easy to share. It has a correlating thumbnail that goes with it. I think is great. So that's what I would do. And then that has the basis of the type of content that you will actually launch. But yeah, I definitely, I don't know who has the most YouTube channel gold play buttons out there. I used to do 2 a year. I used to be in the business. I'll be flat out honest. I used to be in the business of getting a gold play button and then selling that channel to people, because people will pay a ton of money, and that's what I do. Is just build it up, get it going, get the scale the team, and then sell it off. So, all right, okay. What we're gonna do is I need to take just a small little break. I know that a lot of you are here. I'm gonna play the VidSummit 3-minute video. And then I'll come back and continue to answer your questions. I'm going to do some rapid fire questions and so on. The VidSummit video, we're actually going to give away a book and also a trip to VidSummit. So stick around. You want to be on for that. So.
coordinated my shoes.
All And I did get some water. So investing with Matt, thank you so much. I was able to get my chosen mug of water to keep going and enduring. So thank you all. I am now hydrated, which I do appreciate that. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. 2 ticket giveaways. First one is going to Kelsey. You are coming to VidSummit for the first time. All you got to do is DM me on Twitter, and you're going to get a ticket to come to VidSummit. Now, if you already have a ticket to VidSummit, you get a +1. Okay, I'm not refunding any tickets here. I'm going to give you an additional ticket. You can bring your family or friends. Okay. Next one is going to go to someone on LinkedIn. I'm actually live streaming on LinkedIn. So Anthony Reed, you actually get a ticket to come to VidSummit. Just because you're watching it on LinkedIn, I decided to start streaming on LinkedIn and also Twitter. So congrats, man. You're there. Here we go. You got your ticket, both you and Kelsey. So cool. All right. I'm going to start going a little bit quicker on some of these answers. I know we've been doing it. We did that one already. So thank you, Benjamin. And let's do this next one. Okay. I'm from India, recently started a channel. I want to target people in the West, like the US, UK, also how to brainstorm ideas, also give away a mentoring program for me. Now, we'll see who gets the mentoring program. We'll see at the end of this. But here's the thing. One of the biggest mistakes that I made on a YouTube channel, I had a really good idea, had a channel. I wanted to have it be a global channel. And ultimately, I started it in the Middle East and kind of worked around the world. And I'm like, hey, this would be really cool. And I didn't understand at the time, I didn't understand how geo-specific content can be. And there's a lot of opportunities. Now, I know a lot of people want to have the US, UK markets, but it's really important for them because there's the more dollars that are being advertised. You can make more money in that regard. If English is not your first language, and if you struggle with English in that regard, it's going to be a very big hurdle to get over. And so what I always look at is, what is your native language? That's where I start first. And really get momentum going, even if it's just to pay the bills and to keep things going where you can create content. And then you can do your other channel ideas. Like for me, that's about the opportunity. I went down to Brazil probably 6 years ago, and everyone was trying to go, trying to figure out YouTube, whatever. And I'm like, man, there's so much opportunity where you can actually start expanding your experience in your native country. And I explained to some channels that, hey, look at US, UK channels and even Australia channels as examples of what can be done locally and figure out what you can do in your native language. I had a couple people that I met there, they basically looked at a YouTube channel that was in the US that says, we need something like this in Brazil. And now they have like 20 million subscribers. Like, it's like, they're like massive, like doing like 300 million video views a month. This is like, at the end of the day, take advantage of where you're at. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe YouTube's a global thing, but there's so much opportunity in other languages. Like I had some friends that are in France, and they want to do, because they speak English and it's not their native language, but they know it well enough that they can really hold in-depth videos and conversations with it. But I still push them to do it in French because there's not a lot of competition there. And right now they're one of the top performing channels in France, but they live in Canada. I'm telling you, it works so well. So I would actually do that as much as you can. Now, for me, when you localize it that way, it gives you a lot of opportunities to really know the audience better and to go from there. If you're looking to really target people in the West, in the US, you got to look at examples. So I look at other channels, what they're doing, how to bring value. Now, there are some people that I do know that actually do a lot of outsourcing. So they'll actually have the idea, they have the video, they're really good at coming up with it, the scripting. They hire someone to do the voiceover, and they do that. They do that very specifically if it's a faceless channel, and it's worked out really well. So. All righty, here we go. I'm almost done reading your book. Congratulations on that. That's a big thing. How many pages is it? I forgot. It was like 300 and So what is it? 300? Because you got to get to the gold. It's on page 305. So 306 pages. That's congrats. It's awesome. My channels have been about cooking. I'm pivoting to more lifestyle that involves food because of my products are cookbooks. Would love to win a membership. Okay, so we'll be giving a membership to someone. We'll figure this out. Someone today is going to walk away with a 12-week membership. Well, not membership, mentorship, not membership, and we'll go from there. So, like for me, the cooking channels are fun. There's a lot of opportunities. I've worked with so many different people that it was more lifestyle around food is more interesting, and it's more appealing. And believe it or not, there's a lot of people that find value in just connection of around the food economy. And I think it's interesting. And so whatever you're doing in lifestyle, I would 100% look at who you are and go. Let me give you an example. So I had a student of mine who was whose business has been, they had a cookbook and it was all about these easy recipes and so on. And they started a YouTube channel, and we're trying to figure out what would be the best for them, audience wise. And because they would always do, and they'd always have the books that sold. Well, realistically, the people were living on less, and living on less and getting more, right? And that was kind of the value proposition. And that's where the cookbook came in really handy for it. The moment that they decided to be like off the grid, and emergency preparedness, that's when their channel just exploded. And they got more book sales than they've ever done before in all the history of selling books. They got more because there's more audience, and it was just more understanding some of the other things. I don't want to say prepper in the bad sense, because I'm a prepper. I have 3 years worth of food in my house. And my whole thing is I just like to look at that value. So I'd start looking at the lifestyle itself, and look at what is that lifestyle? Is it a small family? What is your cookbook around? And then look at the communities around that. And you can start looking out and seeing the type of content that people would do. I would probably send an email out, do some surveys of, hey, do you watch YouTube? What are some of the channels that you watch? Just so you have some starting points for sure. All righty, here we go. Timothy Dunn. Hey, man, how you doing? I've done the 30-day creator challenge, read the YouTube formula of the book, join channel Jumpstart, and it's been to VidSummit, and we'll be attending this year, hoping to bring my daughter. Thank you so much. And I actually, what I love about YouTube is there's a lot of different opportunity. There's so many different things that happens, and in fact, you sent me a video, and I want to play that video because I think there's so much to learn from it. So let me just go ahead and play this video.
It clicked. It finally clicked. 17 months from the start of Channel Jumpstart, when I got into the program, watching so many videos over and over and over, studying so much, listening to reviews and interviews and all past information and everything that I can consume. I just kept watching the Channel Jumpstart videos over and over and over again. And it finally clicked. I swear it feels like I stood up and I felt like Neo after in the Matrix movies, when he finally seen the design of the Matrix. It's just, I've finally watched YouTube and I see the patterns, and everything clicks for me. I now understand the ebb and flows of the videos. I get it. It took 17 months to get there, but I finally got there. Thank you so much for the program and everything that you've done. I appreciate you so much, brother.
All right. So Timothy, thank you so much for the super chat. And for me, it always warms my heart to see that once it clicks, because like I've seen growth on your channel. I've seen what you've been able to see now. You got pattern recognition, which is the most important thing, is like what's working and why and what. And so this is what we're going to do. You wanted to bring your daughter, and I'm going to give her a ticket. There we go. So just hit me up on Twitter. I know you know where to do that because that's where you sent me that video. But do it. I'll get her a ticket for sure. So thanks, man. Appreciate it. All righty. I've been saying alrighty a lot. I think this is like my 56th time saying that. Okay, so I'm trying to do a travel self-help content like Anthony Bourdain. Oh man, I love Anthony. Oh man, it hurts my heart just to see the talent and the ability, whatever. Meets Matt D'Avella. Matt's super talented too. I'm stuck on the recon and research. The value props are very different, so I'm stumped. Love your YouTube formula also. So Anthony Bourdain is probably one of the best storytellers of all time, and his stuff is so good. Like I think the only one that I would say was between him and Bob Ross, like they're really good content creators, in unique ways. But then Matt got his thing on minimalism and doing these 30-day experience stuff like that, which is great. And then he's done stuff on Netflix and stuff like that. It's cool. But I think the big thing is Anthony, his trips were around food. Okay. He loves food. His background's in food, but it was about food of the world. And it was about the stories of the food of the world, which was cool. So yeah, value propositions are tough. And so for me, it's like, what naturally do you love? What's your natural curiosity? What's the things that connect you? And then are there other people out there that would actually engage the same way? So that's what I'd actually look for as much as possible is, things that get you excited and things that you look at. So when it comes to travel and self-help content, it's like the why. Like, are you traveling to Sedona, Arizona? Like, why are you going to Sedona? The whole thing. And is the experience, for me, it's about storytelling, and there's so many things that you can do with it. And so just be mindful on looking outside even of these two examples. There's some great examples out there that do travel and self-help. And I think it's just like, how do you combine that? And I would look, there was a lady, her channel's not coming to the top of my mind, but she basically sold everything and wanted to travel the world. And it was kind of a combination of that and self-help. And she did that for a couple years. And I did a consult with her. I can't remember her name right off the top of my head, but all righty. I'm starting a children Christian channel. I feel it's harder just to get just right. I'm wondering if I should have my videos made for me. I noticed other channels with full animations. What are your thoughts? Holy cow. Like, animation channels are tough. It's tough. There's a lot of competition. A lot of people put a lot of energy and effort into it. Cool news is there's a lot with AI you can do now. So I'd probably do some digging into AI, see what you're able to do. Even if you're telling children's stories through visuals, there's some really cool stuff where it's like 2D, 3D, but also, with pages. And so I would just look at very, very creative things. And I think you might need to partner with someone that can help you do, they're really strong on that end, but could work on the other end. But it is hard. It is hard. Kids content is very difficult since COPPA. It was easier with COPPA, or before COPPA. And so it's just like getting your eyeballs right and then going from there. And then two, the segment, if it's like Christian type stuff, there's not as much as general, children type content. So you're starting to segment down, but there is a lot of viewers there. I would just like really look at, is there any other channels out there in the niche? Would be Christian children animation content niche, and start tackling it from there. Okay. Here we go. Duncan, hit with ads with limited due to invalid traffic. It killed my views and revenue. It will come back, or do I have to make another channel? Look, here's the thing. There are some vulnerabilities that come from invalid traffic, and it's like, where's this coming from? How's this happening? What it will do? It'll come back. What I would do is literally reach out to YouTube. You can do it through Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it, and they're really responsive there. And I don't know if you've done anything from that. Also, there is someone who's the creator liaison on Twitter, Rene Ritchie. He's always at VidSummit. Great guy. In fact, he's speaking this year at VidSummit. I'd probably talk with him on that and get some answers to that. For me, it will come back. I've seen it come back, but you just have to get some advice from them specifically. Here we go. How to approach a male-dominated niche as a female creator. This is coming from the car channel. I'm here to tell you that some of the biggest channels in the world, is like there is some curiosity factor when it's around automotive, and there's a couple channels out there that are female. Now, just make it more about the car. More about the vehicle, more about the culture, and trust me, they'll geek out either way. They really will. But it's just more about that. So I wouldn't worry about it. Just take it head on. You're a car enthusiast, and that's why you're doing it, and you're really going from there. And then you'll have a segment of our viewers that will watch it because you're in it, versus a guy. So it's just the way that it is. So let's take a look here. Okay. I've seen a lot of Mr. Beastified channels, always gaining the most views. Is there a way to personality channels come out to perform these against the algorithm-driven channels without showing face? Yeah. I mean, there's always copycats. Like, there's probably more Mr. Beast channels than ever before, type channels than ever before. That's going to get a certain audience, right? There's a YouTuber that's coming that he just released a video yesterday or the day before yesterday. I think it was yesterday. His name's Dodford, and he's like, he is an amazing storyteller, and he does documentaries, and you just got to watch it. And so at the end of the day, it's like really understanding the value proposition and making really good content. He's speaking at VidSummit too, because like when I saw his video, I'm like, I got to ask this guy to come. He's so good. In fact, his content is just so good. I look forward to it. And he only does one video a month, but it's a dang good video. And it's very, very good. And the value proposition is clear. And you're always going to walk away with more. So, all right. Do you still recommend a separate channel for podcast clips? Or given recent changes, do you think you'd put clips on the same channel as your long form podcast? What should you break it down? What should it look like? Okay, so for me, never in a million years would I put a clip for a podcast if the podcast is longer than 20 minutes. The reason why is because it's all about the value proposition. So if I come for a 3-hour podcast and I get a notification that comes up for a 3-minute clip, I'm going to be pretty mad. All I want is the podcast. And so, had a specific, channel that I mentor that did their, clips channel, got monetized in 8 days, and now is momentum and it's feeding both back and forth. So I still, to this end of the day, I do a clips channel because it's a different type of viewing experience. And so it really just depends on where you're at. I'd look very closely. Some people call podcasts at 15 minutes. I just call it a video. I see podcasts being a couple hours. So. All righty. How important is the recent content alongside your optimized playlist on your channel homepage? Well, living in Oklahoma, David, most people don't go to your homepage, your channel page, to watch your content. They go there to see if they like a video. They're like, oh, I want to know more about this creator. And they usually go there that way and then watch a piece of content. But most people don't discover you. They discover you from a video. So I would always, always, always be looking at what are the best videos for you to display for a new person coming on, because they're going to be a new person. Like, what is it going to be your most viewed? Is it going to tell your origin story? What's going to be your channel trailer? I mean, there's a lot of things that I like to look into, but I don't. I just look at it through the lens of what's best for the viewer. And sometimes that is your optimized playlist, is like saying these are the best videos for them. But generally it's the ones that get the most views is what I'd put there. So, okay. I have a motorcycle travel road trip channel. I check analytics. YouTube recommends my content far away from my niche. I think it's because I hit a wall advice. Value propositions will lead to, your thing. So what is the value proposition? Is it just your travel channel, but you're on a motorcycle, or is it a motorcycle and you're happen to go on a road trip, and what is the experience? What is the whole thing? One of the channels that I really like, there's a guy that used to YouTube quite a bit just near me, and I really liked him a lot. His name was Everride. So he actually did vlogs, moto vlogs. So he'd be on the motorcycle taking and just having a conversation. Really liked his stuff. So for me, I would just be looking at all the different opportunities out there of the type of travel channels. Don't take away the motorcycle and look for cars and RVs and stuff and see what they're doing. And then just say, okay, with the motorcycle, what do they actually care about? And go from there. I think the big thing is, if you're hitting the wall, I would look in a different vein to see what you can do differently for some creativity. And two, if the value is just the connection with you and you're just going for a bike ride, maybe it's like the moto vlogging where they feel like they're riding with you. I don't know. That's something you need to look into. And I just kind of maybe spend a portion of a day, 20, 30 minutes a day, and really look at YouTube outside of your industry and see what's happening. And maybe that's going to give you some ideas. So, okay, here we go. Pixie Dust Traveler, do tags help shorts and long form get recommended? Okay. Pre-2013, tags had a lot to do with YouTube, had a lot to do with recommending. After YouTube switched over from a view-based algorithm to an AI-driven platform, they don't necessarily mean as much. YouTube's looking at the data of who watches what they click on more than anything else. Now, tags can give some initial, hey, this is what my video is about, but YouTube's already looking at your title. They're already looking at your closed captioning. They're looking at every frame of your video to see what it's about, what you're saying, what you're doing. And they're also looking at your meta information, which is your description and your tags. YouTube's not using that as the main factor. It's like you can deceive YouTube saying this is what my video is about, and it has nothing to do with it. So tags don't really look at anything outside of, a few things. Now, if it supports stuff that the video is about, then yeah, it's great. If you look at some of the biggest creators on the planet, they don't use tags. Like YouTube's using what people watch and what they don't watch. And they're looking at who's watching it and then trying to predict what they want to watch next. And it's more about your title and your first paragraph of your description than it is tags. So, okay, my dollars have gone down to about $50 a month after shorts got monetized. Any ideas why? It could be, where is your money coming from? How's it going at the time of the year? Like the revenue actually went up for me every June it starts to increase. But we were hitting shorts on it, and it just depends on where, did you disrupt your traffic? You're getting more views, but is it just coming from short form views? The short form views don't make as much money. I like to look at it collectively. So like in the advanced mode, you can actually create a group, put all your shorts in a group and all your other content in a group. And then you can be able to see based off of the last, 28 days to 90 days, you can compare that and see, is it because of RPM, CPM, stuff like that? But I think really doing this a very simple way, it would be really addressing, what type of content it is and the time of the year. As more advertisers come on the platform, they have to bid to be in front of the right type of viewer, and that's where your RPMs and your CPMs come up. So. All right, so what we're gonna do is, it's been 2 hours, 7 minutes, and I know that there's so many super chats and everything that's going on from here. I really want to answer all these questions. So I'm gonna try to do 10 minutes more. And so I'm gonna do some rapid fire. At the end of it, I'm gonna give one more VidSummit to go away, and then I'm gonna also give away a 12-week mentorship with me, which is worth a lot of money. Okay, so here we go. My channel is launching in a week as personal development talking head format. What are some effective strategies to create and maximize community feature and build a community bond? Well, everything in the video. So I would be talking to them directly in the video. I'd say, hey, what do you think about this? Put it in the comments. If you ever thought this way, put this in the comments. Less about the community tab and the community features on it. It's more about having people feel like they're connected to something bigger than themselves. And so having those conversations is really important. And if it's like, hey, we're dealing with mental health. Have you ever felt this way? Put it in the comments. Let's be a support group. Let's create this opportunity to do that. Okay, great. Okay, Brandon, would love to go to VidSummit this year. Never been. Would really want to grow my channel to a higher level. Want to learn the ins and outs of YouTube the best way I can. Brandon, guess what, dude? I'm going to give you a ticket to VidSummit. Okay, there's that one ticket we're going to give away. There we go. So all you got to do is DM me on Twitter. I'll get you a ticket. I think this is the most tickets I've ever given away, ever. So yeah, here we go. Okay. I think we already did that one. We did. So let me get rid of that. Okay, this next one, DePaul. Okay. How much time a day do you recommend digging into your YouTube analytics? My daughter's channel just hit 1,000 subs. Congrats on that. That's pretty big. I'm a one-man team right now, trying to do it all. So this is so I'm doing it all. LOL. Okay, this is what I do. I don't look at my analytics every day. I don't. I think it could damage your ability to be productive because you get so sucked into the algorithm and the analytics. So what I do is I look at my analytics at the beginning of the month and in the middle of the month, and I do a deep dive. The deep dive is where I look at every aspect of the video. I have a certain process that I look at. I look at where retention is, where click-through rate is, where traffic's coming in. I want to really deep down. And then I use that to make better videos. So I use that to make better videos. Now, I might jump into analytics to see, is there anomalies? Is it traffic as usual? So the only thing I would do is, like in the app, due to Creator Studio, see where's my real time in the last 60 minutes, last 48 hours. And if there's like a spike, I'll go into analytics and see what's going on. But if it's going lower than normal or going above normal, that's the only indicators that I would go deeper into analytics. If it's just normal, I don't necessarily even go into it. Just the beginning of the month and the end of the month. Middle of the month and the beginning of the month is what I do. So. All righty, Val, thank you so much for the super chat. Really do appreciate that. Here we got another one. I keep struggling with how much is too much when it comes to what to put my free YouTube videos versus my courses. What's your take on that? Oh, Shane, hey, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Look, I say the more you put out for free, you just got to package it in a way on your courses. It's just like what's going to grab their attention, what's going to be their focus, and there is a good mix. Like for me, to go deeper with me, it's my mentorship and helping them along the way. That's that value proposition. I mean, people read my book, they can get pretty much the stuff in my mentorship, but they don't get to ask the questions. And then two, we go a lot deeper than I can in a book. That's where the depth comes in. So. Hey, Jess, thank you so much for the super chat. And then also, Val, once again, thank you for the super chat. I'm hoping that you're not just doing it from there and just forgot to do your questions. So I do apologize for that. I'm in the yoga meditation niche, has nearly 100,000 subscribers, the huge audience for these topics, but my growth is slow. Traffic's mostly coming from search. What do you recommend with more people and get suggested? So what I like to do is when it's coming from search, I'm like seeing what are they searching for? And then I like to think of what video should they be watching next. So if it's like, if yoga meditation, they're probably looking at, hey, how to meditate, or here's what's some yoga techniques or whatever. They're finding that video. And then I try to figure out what would be a good video to lead them to. So it could be 5 mistakes when meditating, or everyone should meditate, or everyone should do these 3 things when meditating, you know. And so I'm more curious about that. It's not necessarily a search video, but it'd be a recommendation. And then I would use that as the end screen, maybe a pinned comment, put it in the description, maybe even make it a card. That's what I would do. Okay. All right. Can you change your Twitter settings so we can DM? You can DM me. Oh, crap. Did they change it that you can't DM if you don't have Twitter Blue? Okay. If you can't do it, if you don't have, I think Elon changed it so you can't DM if you don't have Twitter Blue. I think that's what's happening. That used to be so convenient. Now just go over to Instagram. I'll just look on Instagram. So DM me on Instagram, same name, Daryl Eves. If you can't do it on Twitter, do Twitter first. If not, I'll look on Instagram. Thanks though. Appreciate it. Okay, should I define an audience for each video bucket or the channel as a whole, or both? No, like literally, if you do it per bucket, then you're creating split audiences. Like what you want to do is for the whole channel, and every bucket, your target avatar, your viewing avatar should like every video in each bucket. It's just a different value proposition, different video delivery on that. Okay, Real Deals. Hey, man. Appreciate the love there. Continue to look to grow. Battling myself is hard to do, and recommend your books besides YouTube Formula. Look, at the end of the day, I know you had this other one. It looks like it's a 2-parter. Should I make some short channel, not my norm, or do daily vlogging? Random stuff. It doesn't make any sense. Almost like a vlog channel. Help me stay on the camera more often. Okay, look. Known you for a while, appreciate you on the thing. I think the biggest thing is motivation to make the best content possible. I think it's just really honing in on a specific niche. If you do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you're confusing the algorithm. We need to get very, very specific on what would bring value to the viewer, what would get you really excited to create content. Now, I know a lot of people that really need this inner need to create. And so doing a short form content channel could be, hey, we're putting it out there, we're getting momentum and stuff like that. And then they can still do their content strategy on the same channel. I've seen people do that and say, hey, I'm going to hit it hard here. I'm going to make this variety channel, and I'm going to do all the different things and whatever, because it's just like, it's one-off, whatever. And then I'm going to focus in on my long form there. So yeah, definitely do that. That's what I would do if it was me. Does every video need to go into a bucket? If a video doesn't fit in a bucket, should you just not make it? No, I would say I want buckets for content strategy, and people know, hey, this is the type of content that would be on this channel. But I always do, if it's a good video idea and it's the same audience, then I'm doing it as well. And then 2, keep in mind, I'm always doing experimental buckets of things that could be a bucket. But no, if it's not just a bucket every time, I don't say, okay, I'm not going to make it. I'm like, no, if it's a good video, it will bring value. I just know it's a one-off. It's not something that's a part of a series, and I'm going to learn from it, and my audience is going to love it. So, all right, Val, you keep on giving me money. Thank you so much. I don't know why you're doing that, but I don't know if you're trying to leave a question. I hope that you're getting it through. If the audience is older than 55, should I begin the hook with something different than a video that is targeting younger audiences? Look, if your audience is older, like one of the things I don't really care about on Avatar is the demographics. I look at psychographics, like what's the value, what do they find valuable, what their problem, what their issues are. The demographics help me know how to communicate. So when I'm communicating with a boomer versus a Gen Alpha or a Gen Z, I approach it differently, right? I'm able to do a lot of things differently, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's like, what is the most valuable and how do I pull them into the video? That's what I'm actually looking at. So younger audience, you would approach a younger audience differently than you would an older audience. And if your audience is older, I would look at, okay, what would be not as jarring, but yet pulls them in deeper. So I know that's kind of vague, but look at your edit and the way that you're pulling people in based on who your audience is. And you would do somebody that's a Gen Xer or a boomer is different than an alpha and a Gen Z. Biodiversity law, huge deficiency in my biodiversity science niche, and there's too much content ideas for my videos. LOL. How do I unfreeze when I overloaded with ideas? I probably have at least 5,000 or 6,000 ideas, video ideas. I keep on adding to that list. But not every idea is the best idea. And what I like to do is like, what is the best idea? And I like to start narrowing it down. And I know that there's one idea that you have that you get excited about more than anything else. And you're really excited about making that video. That's the video idea that you should do. Is what's going to be the best video to make is the one that you're excited about. Feel like it would get the most amount of reach, bring the most value. That's what I would do for sure. Okay, thank you so much. Can't even watch at least half an hour if I was calling everyone. I'm going to absorb like a sponge and work so hard. I'm stoked. Reach out to you on Twitter. Is that okay? Yes, definitely do that. Okay. I teach kids moral values and make content for parents. Should I separate these two different channels or the same? Often kids use their parents' accounts, so I don't worry about the type of their content turns others off. No, I like if it's parents, like that should be a separate channel than if it's kids. I know that kids use their parents' accounts, but I'm telling you, YouTube is smart enough to understand who's using the device, and they understand that there's device sharing that's going on, and when they go into it. So there are iPad nannies out there. But if you're trying to empower parents and teach them to help them teach their kids, like you got to make that a separate channel for sure. Okay, I actually gained a viral video. I think we already did this one, didn't we? I don't know, Jones, if we did or not. I'm going to just give you the same advice. We actually gained a viral video shorts audience and didn't watch my long form content. I thought we did. What do I do? Long form is my passion, and now I have 10,000 subs that don't engage. Should I make shorts private? No, I mean, like shorts are what they are, right? They're going to bring an audience in. And my whole thing is if it's not the same audience, which it might be and it might not be, I don't know. I would basically look and you can do a compare and contrast in your advanced mode. So go to advanced mode, select the video that is bringing your short, that is bringing your audience that you gained it from, and then put all your videos in long form in a group or just select your channel. And you can see, go under demographics. Is it the same audience? Is it the same age? Go into comments on both what they're gaining and see, is it the same audience? It could be, they just might not like to watch long form content. So like, I don't know, it's a hard one. I would just say, look, do the best you can on the long form. You're passionate about it, create that audience. You can delist it. The question is, it's not going to take away, because if the viewer only watches short form, it's not going to take away them not going to long form. But YouTube's been very good at recommending the video to your short form views now. So, okay. 85% of my traffic comes from browse feature and only 5% comes from suggestion. Is there any way to get more views from suggested traffic? Do you need a large library to trigger the suggested traffic source? No. The way that suggested traffic works is when someone's watching it, you appeal to them either a rabbit hole video that would be similar topic, similar niche, would go to it. And YouTube's usually looking at the content creator that they're watching in their own library first. That's why I do the bucket system. Butcher, I don't know if you have my book, The YouTube Formula. I actually go through this in it. I'm going to give you a copy. Just reach out to me on Twitter if you can. If not, on Instagram, and I'll get you that. I don't think a shot here to get you a copy of the book. The best way to do is to think what logically they watch next. So when you're thinking about it, like what video would be good for them to watch next, that's the video that you should create. And then two, make it your target video. Make it your end screen, make it your card, put it in your description, put it as your comment. And then once the traffic starts to go like this, then when they're watching this, if you can get a probability of some of the people that are watching this that watch the next, that's how you do that. So, all righty. Clay Jarvis, guitar, thank you so much for the super chat. And we got Tyler. Okay. Have you spoken to SAG Restrike? I'm a Hollywood attorney for 15 years, and now I have a law firm representing creators and get a lot of questions. If you have creators, we can talk about it if you're stuck at work. Here's the cool thing. Guess what happened? I have a TV show. We're in production. And the SAG strike happened, and we were the first show to get an exemption. Like we were literally the next day we got the exemption, and I know that there's a lot of challenges that they're facing. A lot of the people that I do love, they get their money through acting. There's a lot of complications. Hopefully they can find some reasoning on that, and it's good to know that there's attorneys out there. Luckily we had an exemption. We were able to finish up. We actually finish up on Tuesday for our our production. We'll go into post, but yeah, really excited about that. So, and here we go. Would love to win a channel jumpstart. My Keto Twins rave about you. Hey, I like the Keto Twins. They're awesome. And they're coming to VidSummit now. We got a ticket on that. Okay, here we go. Okay, Mitch, do you recommend finding an editor that matches your video style? I edit myself, but I want to increase my channel output. I usually try to find an editor, and then the way that I usually find an editor is I look and hire 3 editors at once to do a project, and I work with those 3 editors and see which ones I actually like. If you're hiring an editor that does it exactly like you, that's one thing. But how do they actually level you up? And that way they can increase your output as well. So, Candace, thank you, Daryl, for all the value. I'm going all in on YouTube this year and would love the 12-week membership. Candace, guess what? There you go. I'm going to mentor you for 12 weeks. What you need to do is reach out to me either on Twitter or on Instagram. You're good to go. I think the next one starts in September or something like that. But reach out to me and you got it. See, that was the best $5 that you ever did in your whole life right there. So you got me. All right. Do you think gaming gameplay channels could still work, such as content like Alpha Cash? I would like to, let's see. I love to make that. Not sure if it's too competitive. I love the membership to pay for the college dropout. Okay. Look, my favorite thing is I have 2 gaming channels that are coming to YouTube. They do Minecraft. Most people Minecraft's the most saturated thing of all time. They looked at the value proposition of what their channel's about. They were able to get 3.5 million subscribers on one channel and a 2.8 on another in like 6 months. Okay. And that's what they're going to come and talk about of how to do that. And it's an oversaturated niche, right? At the end of the day, that's what's happening. It's not too competitive. You just got to bring your value in and make your content better. So just go all in on it, man. I'm excited about stuff like that. Okay, working on the thumbnail style for my channel right now, which is a podcast channel. How would you approach the thumbnail design for a podcast? I would go out and look at what is the best podcast type of thumbnails. Generally, it's the host. an activity that they're talking about. So if you're talking about cycling, it might be them on a cycle and then your guest, and that's kind of what it is. So it's like 3-panel. Joe Rogan kind of done a pretty good job. Most people follow that. I look at impact theory. Tom's actually, him and his wife are both speaking at VidSummit. Both have some pretty amazing podcasts too. So. All righty. Thank you for asking my question. Thank you so much for what you do for the community, inspire your energy levels, man. Thank you. I love giving back. I love helping people here. Okay, Daddy Daryl, bought your book twice. Can I get a ticket, please? Okay, I'll tell you what. This is my last ticket I'm giving out. We'll do it. You get a ticket to VidSummit. Okay, there we go. Okay, see, somebody asked please, and I'm like literally, at my end. So, okay. So I know that there's a couple other ones. These are the last 4 questions. I'm not going to answer anymore. Let's see. I'm having serious debates with some people who feel like feel are uneducated. I'm saying I don't want to focus on shorts until I get the long form down better. They're coming from my thoughts. Look, the easiest views to get in the world right now are shorts. There it is. It's not the easiest money to make. Like the channel that just got 50 million views, like that, only made like 7,000. Now you might think, oh, that's a lot of money. Well, no, because he spent a lot more than that creating those videos. And so it's just like at the end of the day, I think long form is better. If you can figure that out, if you can get the money coming in, that is great. For me, if it's a creative outlet, like I was saying, shorts is great. I like short form content. I think it's great. It's just hard to create that consistently, make a ton of money. Okay, so Deez, thank you so much. I gave away all the Jumpstart ticket or Jumpstart mentorship and the VidSummit tickets. Will have to be on the next live stream. I will be giving out more tickets, but you don't want to miss it. And really, really exciting stuff's happening. We're actually doing a lot with AI. Because this question is about AI. We're doing quite a bit about AI at VidSummit this year. You want to check that out. Are you afraid that AI content will overtake your private creators? I've been using ChatGPT to write descriptions and how scary good it is. AI is now writing music. No, I think AI is going to enhance the creator. I think AI is a tool. At least that's what it is right now. So, okay. Guys, thank you so much for this live stream. We'll do this last one. After 4 years of grinding it out, we humbly ask for help. Channel Jumpstart would be a giant blessing for us. Like, I wish I could help everyone. If you haven't done the Creator Challenge, there's the 30-day Creator Challenge. I do that. If you haven't got the book, JMR Rebuilders, you can get my book. I will give you a copy of this book. So go ahead and reach out to me on that on Twitter or Instagram, whatever is easier. I do mentorships. I can't just give it away to everyone that actually provides for our team. So ultimately, like, have a goal to be there. I don't know if you've done the interview with Justin or Jackson. I would definitely do that. Get through that process. But really do appreciate it, guys. Now, in closing, look, VidSummit's coming up. That's where it's at. I know I've given a lot of free tickets away, and there's so much that's going on. You don't want to miss it. I can't give a ticket to everyone. We actually need to, do it. But I just need you to understand that this is going to be the most amazing VidSummit ever. Have the best speakers on the planet coming. There's a lot of energy. We have a lot of stuff that's going on right now. Let me get rid of this. And if you haven't done it yet, please get your ticket. My whole thing is we sold out 3 hotels already. 3 hotels. We've never sold out a hotel in July, and we sold out 3 of them. It is going to be massive. It's going to be big. You don't want to miss out. And once the ticket's gone, it's gone. We sold out last 2 years. Last 2 years, we were turning people away. I had somebody offer me a lot of money to come into it. We couldn't do it. And now I just want to let you know that the venue that we're at is bigger and greater than we've ever done before, and it's going to be locked down. It's not going to be. It's going to be so great. So you don't want to miss out. There's so much that's going on. But yeah, I definitely would get your tickets, because I'm here to tell you that the best of the best is at VidSummit, helping you really succeed and really learn and get your questions and answers by people that normally don't have a platform to present. And we have fun while we're there. So don't miss out. Go to vidsummit.com. It's links in the description. Get your tickets now. That's where it's at. And guys, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks everyone. Thank you so much. Bye now.